Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Hannah. I do lifestyle fashion, and today we are doing the first trimester recap. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I am way past my first trimester. I'm actually 25 weeks pregnant this week, so I'm a little late to the game, but it's because I am just now finally getting some energy back and I'm probably starting to nest a little bit. So I'm like, oh, I have to get stuff done. So I am going to be going over just like an all over recap and cravings, symptoms. I don't think there was any questions, but it was mostly just like my symptoms and like how I found out. And I mean, I already posted a video of like real time, like how I found out and like taking the test and everything. So I will link that up above here. But yeah, I will just mostly be going over symptoms and what I've bought, and yeah, let's just get right to it. So how I found out, I was actually only 3 weeks pregnant when I found out that I was pregnant. I like did the math. I thought I was way farther along because the tests were coming up like super dark, and like I even took a digital test, and the digital tests are very, very sensitive. So usually they take more HCG, which is the like hormones that say in your body that you're pregnant. It requires more of it to show up on a digital test, and the digital test came up positive. So how I found out that I was pregnant was I was super emotional. And that's not like me. Like, I'm not an emotional person. My family all calls me the ice queen. Like, I don't cry at anything. And it was actually on September 11th, which it's a very sad day, obviously, but I was like very upset about it, and I was crying all day, and I just knew that something was wrong. And I was like, you know, I'm being really emotional and I still haven't got my period, so like maybe I'll just take a pregnancy test. And the next day, as you saw in the video, I took the pregnancy test in the morning and came back positive. But before then, I had, I guess, some early symptoms. And what's so funny about early pregnancy symptoms is that they feel like period symptoms. So the emotional part, I was like, oh, I'm just getting moody, like PMS. I have really bad cramps. I had really bad period cramps and my boobs hurt. And so I was like, I'm getting my period any day now. And what's so funny is that if you ask any pregnant woman, they will say that they are never more convinced that they're gonna get their period when they find out that they're pregnant, because it's like the symptoms are so similar. So as you saw, I like ran to Walmart, like took the test, found out, he went to work. While he was at work, I ran to Walmart and actually went to CVS, got 3 more tests, came home, took them all. They were all positive because I wasn't convinced with the first test. I was like, nope, it's a false positive, like whatever. So I took 3 more tests, those were all positive. Ran to Walmart, shopped around, got cute little like booty unisex socks, and they're actually somewhere in this room. I am in the nursery. I got unisex socks, put it in a little little like gift bag with the pregnancy test, and I just gave it to him, and I was like, oh, like you're like the world's best husband, like here you go. And he opened it, and he actually thought that it was a present for our nephew, because our nephew had been born in just recently when we found out we were pregnant. So he was like, oh, cool, like you got socks for Angus, like cool. And then he saw the pregnancy test and he was like, no way, like are you kidding? And yeah, so that's how we found out. And that was super early. So then I called and I actually had to go to the Naval Hospital here in Pensacola. Went to the Naval Hospital that day, took a pee test. They confirmed it was positive. So that basically started the evolution of like getting the referrals and being able to go to an obstetrician and everything. So I got that, and I was convinced that I was farther along than I was. So I was like, oh yeah, I think I'm like 5 or 6 weeks along. So my appointment will be in 2 weeks from now. So when I went to my first scan, which You guys saw a little clip, I think, from the earlier video, but the first scan, they were like, yeah, no, you're only 6 weeks along. And thought it was 8 weeks. And we saw the gestational sac, and we saw the little like flicker, and because you can't actually see anything that early, but there is this little like light flicker, and so that was the heartbeat. So we saw that, and then we heard a really faint heartbeat, and it was really slow, but the midwife that we had just said it was really slow because it was so early, and I think it was like 100 beats per minute or something. Like, it was just really like slow. And so we're like, oh, we can't really guess like what the gender is because it's so early. And yeah, so that was 6 weeks. And then honestly, my symptoms from there were not that severe, which like I feel really bad about, but I never got morning sickness or anything. I kept waiting because everyone kept telling me like, oh, it peaks at 8 weeks, it peaks at 10 weeks, it peaks at 12 weeks, whatever. They kept telling me like when it would peak and when it would hit me. So I was kind of just sitting there, and I felt like a ticking time bomb where I was like, when is it gonna happen? Like, I wish it would just happen already. Like, I wanted to get it over with. But it never happened for me. I have still to this day, like, knock on wood. My dog freaked out. But yeah, like, knock on wood, I've never thrown up this entire pregnancy. There was only one day that I felt really weird and like felt like I was gonna pass out, but honestly, like that, I don't know, it was just like a weird day. It was a fluke, but I never threw up. But some of my symptoms that I had in my first trimester, which I think the first trimester is from conception to 13 weeks. It's like you have to do the full 12 weeks or something. I don't know. Every app says it's different. But during the first trimester, I got super stuffed up for no reason. It wasn't like I had a cold and I didn't feel like allergies. I was just stuffed up all the time. And so at night I'd be stuffy and just like so stuffy all the time. But the tiredness is really what got me. I was tired all day, every day. It was horrible. Like the tiredness really, it was fatigue. I ended up quitting my job. I was nannying and I ended up quitting my job because I was so tired. I was like, I can't get up at like 7 in the morning and stay until 3 in the afternoon and be responsible for another human. Like I can't do it. I'm just like, I need to go to bed. And it wasn't like, I actually wasn't taking any naps. I just felt fatigued. Like I felt like I just needed to lay down on the couch, which isn't bad. Like that's not a bad thing. I wasn't being lazy. My body just needed to rest and I was growing a human, or I am growing a human. So the tiredness, I had really, really bad boob pain, like breast pain. And I had very, this is a little TMI, but like I had very, very sensitive nipples where like literally my husband Jake could like brush by me and I'd be like, and it would just like take my breath away. And so that hurt really bad. So I basically just stuck to really stretchy sports bras or no bra at all, and like loose fitting shirts and everything. But that pain, I mean, it would wake you up in the night kind of pain where like you roll over and you're like, oh my God. And it feels so sore. So that was horrible. There was this weird feeling of like feeling hungover. If you've ever been hungover, it would start, I guess, when I woke up, and it would just last all day. And it was this feeling of almost like disassociation. Like I feel fine, I'm not sick, and I'm not gonna throw up, but I don't feel good, and I feel like something is off, and something in my body is telling me something like this is not right. And it honestly, it just was a weird hangover feeling. I never had like a throbbing headache. It was just kind of like a mild headache and a mild stomach ache and just like feeling icky. So that's how I felt almost the entire first trimester. I mostly felt really gross at night, so I would actually wake up at like 7 in the morning and I would get all this done and I would clean the house and I would make breakfast and I would make lunch, and basically by like noon, 2 o'clock, as the weeks went by, it went later and later. But in the very beginning, I would basically hit noon and I'd be done for the day. I'd be on the couch or I'd be in bed and I was done. And then a week or two later, I would be able to make it to 2 o'clock. I'd make it to 4 o'clock. And so I would make it longer and longer before I was just done. And then I was so tired, I was so fatigued, and I just needed to lay down. And sometimes I didn't even want the TV on. I just needed to rest my mind. So that happened. I mean, that still happens, but that was like one of the major symptoms that I had. I had really bad acid reflux. That started up almost immediately. It's still happening. It feels like I'm breathing fire, people. My God, it feels like I'm breathing fire because the acid reflux is so bad. So Tums, I had mint Tums every single day until my doctor told me to switch over to Pepcid AC, which I take that twice a day now. So I take that. And again, just super emotional. I was crying at a lot of things. I saw a meme thing about adopting pets, started sobbing, crying. I posted that on my Instagram stories, and I'll put a little clip in here, but I was sobbing, crying.
So a lot of people don't believe pregnant women when they say that their hormones are crazy and make them cry all the time. I am not a crier. And that comic has me sobbing so hard. And my husband has the audacity to tell me that there's a second part to the comic that apparently, like, an old lady has a cat and the cat dies. And so the old lady goes to the shelter and picks up that cat. And so then, like, death comes and brings the ghost kitty to see that his owner is fine because she has a new cat and that the cat from the shelter got saved. Why? Why do you have to do this to me? Pregnancy hormones suck.
I think that was actually more towards my second trimester. Second trimester has been a whirlwind of emotions, but I was still pretty emotional in my first trimester. And I honestly think that was it. Just like the last symptom I had was I wasn't hungry. Like, I wasn't ravenous or anything. I would basically eat a Greek yogurt or something for breakfast. And then for lunch, I would have a spicy ramen, which I'll get into. I basically had a ramen every single day. And then that was it. I didn't want dinner. Most nights I didn't eat dinner. I would have maybe half of a granola bar and I was drinking water and that was it. So, I just wasn't hungry. It was so strange to me to not be hungry because I kept expecting all these cravings and want to eat all the time and no, nothing ever happened. So first trimester was pretty uneventful for me. A lot of people say it was their worst trimester, but for me it was pretty uneventful. So let's get to the cravings. So cravings wise, I craved spicy ramen every single day. I'm talking I would have one and I would eat one and then I would want to eat another one right after. I couldn't get enough of it, and it was this very specific one that I'm gonna have to put the picture up here because I've tried so many spicy ramens now. It's this very specific spicy chicken ramen and it comes in a bowl, and I would eat that and I would pour the frozen mixed vegetable bag of either the peas and carrots one or the peas, carrots, corn, and green beans mix. I would pour a whole bunch in there so I felt like I was getting more vegetables, and I would eat that for lunch, and it was so amazing. I actually ate so much of it that I haven't eaten it in a really long time now. I basically haven't eaten one the entire second trimester because I had it so much, and I actually made Jake start taking pictures of me every time I would eat the spicy ramen because I was like, I'm gonna look back at this and just laugh, which I do now. So is that. I was also craving clementines all the time, so I had the big bag of cuties. I would have 4 clementines at a time, and so I was probably eating half a bag a day. So I was eating that, and that was I would say from when I found out I was pregnant, which was week 3, up until week 8 to 10, that was it. That was my diet. It was just clementines and spicy ramen. And then after that I started craving cherry flavored things. So cherry sparkling water, cherry candy, cherries, if I had like a big bag of like gummy bears or something, I would only want to eat the red ones because like they were like cherry or like red raspberry or something. It all tastes the same, but I just wanted like that like red. I don't know why I was craving that, like if I was craving red food dye for some reason, but I just wanted it so bad, and it was so good. And then it was really just sweet juices and Gatorade. So I would basically have half a Gatorade. It would be like half Gatorade, half water, and I would drink one of those probably a day. All I wanted was sweet juices. It was a lot of sweets. It was like the spicy ramen thing happened, and then all of a sudden it shifted over, and I wanted all of these like tart sweetness, like Sour Patch Kids and Gatorade and raspberry and cherry and everything like that. So I don't really know. For aversions is basically like something you can't smell, can't stand, can't look at, can't eat, like completely turned off to. And that is, and still is, chicken. Like specifically grilled chicken. We used to eat grilled chicken every single day here. Like our entire freezer is packed full of just like boneless, skinless chicken breasts. So we would each have a breast, like take a chicken breast and like fillet it. So it felt like we were eating two breasts. But if I smelled pan-fried chicken, if I looked at pan-fried chicken, the thought of cutting into and eating grilled chicken, I can't do it. I cannot do it. There was even, I got a chicken pot pie one time, like the Marie Callender's chicken pot pie, and I had a bite of the chicken in it. I was like, oh, and it wasn't like I was gonna throw up. It was just, I couldn't chew it. I couldn't do the density. I couldn't chew it. I couldn't swallow it. It made me feel gross. Ugh, that's still, I can't do it. But if it's like Tyson chicken tenders, I can eat those, or if it's Chick-fil-A, I can eat that. I just can't do like homemade grilled chicken. I can't do it. Okay, so for day to day, like what I ate day to day, again, it would be like a Greek yogurt or a cheese stick in the morning. For lunch, I would have a spicy ramen. I would have clementines throughout the day, and then I didn't really eat dinner. Like I said before, I wasn't hungry like at all during the first trimester, and so that was really it. It was just like Greek yogurt, cheese sticks, spicy ramen, clementines, lots of sparkling water because I couldn't really do plain water. So I got bubbly, I got LaCroix, I tried every single brand, Waterloo and everything. And that was my entire diet. I wanted to walk every single day. And so I think for the first week when I found out I was pregnant, none of the symptoms had really hit me yet. And so we were walking every day with our dog, and I was like, oh my God, this is so great. Like walking our neighborhood, we're so cute. Like walking down the sidewalk with our dog, and like I'm pregnant. And then the tiredness kicked in, and I did not move. They were like by 2 o'clock, by the time I even realized that it was the afternoon and I looked at the window, it was already dark out, and I was like, oh, well, I guess we're not going on a walk. And by the time I was hitting the end of my first trimester, it was November, which means the sun was going down at like 4 o'clock. And I was like, yeah, nope, I'll walk another day, it's fine. And yeah, exercise did not happen for me. That was a no-go. Okay, so bump progress. Obviously, I'm not gonna show you the bump right now because that would be super unfair because I am not in my first trimester, but I do have a ton of pictures that I will put here. I will put a little like montage of first trimester pictures and bump pictures and a whole bunch of stuff. So I'll put that right here. I feel like I got a bump super early and I was showing super early, and I found out it's because I have a anterior placenta, and that basically means that my placenta was growing in the front. And so as my baby was growing and as the placenta was growing, it looked, instead of everything growing kind of like towards the inside, everything was growing on the outside. So I was showing super early, and I felt like I had a bump early. And I mean, I remember going to the airport when I was 10 weeks along, 10 weeks. and I felt like I had a bump. And even my mom was like, oh my God, look how cute you are with your bump. Like, oh my God. And like, I felt pregnant. Like, it was one of those things where I wouldn't be able to hide it. If I was trying to hide it from people, I wouldn't be able to hide it. And I actually didn't post a lot of pictures on Instagram, which I'll get to the whole social media part in a little bit. But I felt like I couldn't hide it. Everyone kept telling me I couldn't hide it. Who knew me in person, they're like, you can't hide it anymore. You can't hide it anymore, because baby was bumping. But yeah, so that's it for the progress pictures. And then let's see. Oh, gender predictions. So from the start, I thought it was gonna be a boy, and Jake thought it was gonna be a girl. He had a dream that it was a girl, and his dad is like a little semi-psychic, and so he had a dream that was a girl, and so he was like, that's it, it's a girl, like it's definitely gonna be a girl. Somewhere inside of me told me it was a boy. I knew it was a boy. My mom thought it was a boy from the start. When I told her, I was like, Mom, I'm pregnant. She like was like, it's a boy, you're having a little boy. It was just her like intuition. And also, I have two brothers, and then it's me. And with both of her pregnancies with my brothers, she was not sick at all. And then with me, she was sick from day one till birth, just like sick the entire time. So she was like, I think you're like me, and you're not gonna get sick, and you're having a boy. And well, I'm not going to announce it in this video, because if it's the first trimester update, then like going in order of all the videos, I do know what I'm having, but going in order of the videos, I'll post this, and then I'll post our little like gender reveal thing, even though it's all over Instagram because I'm so late to the game. So if you want to like go on my Instagram, you can see that. But those are gender predictions. I think it's a boy. Jake thinks it's a girl. We'll see who's right. Okay, so keeping it from social media. I basically had to stay off of stories for as much as possible because I was going to spill it. Like there were days where I was like, yeah, I have this coming up, this coming up, this coming up, or like, yeah, I'm so tired. And my friends that I had told were like, I can see right through this. Like, you're a liar. You're such a liar. But nobody else guessed it, which I was like, yes, nobody guessed it. Yay. Like, nobody thinks I'm fat. And so that was nice. But it was really, really hard. I found out I was pregnant September 12th, and then we announced it on November 19th, which I was 13 weeks pregnant. And so we announced it on social media finally, and yeah, it was really fun. And so we actually ended up having a little photo shoot when we found out that we were pregnant, and we found out the gender and everything. We had a local photo shoot on the beach, and it was just really, really cute. And so we used those pictures for like the gender reveal pictures and for the pregnancy announcement pictures. So I'll put some of those in here. So yeah, we announced it November 19th. It was on like a Tuesday or something. I was 13 weeks pregnant, and then we announced the gender the following week on, what was it, November 25th. And that was right before Thanksgiving. And so I think our thing was like, oh, we're so thankful we're having a blank. And yeah, let's get on to the apps, the books, things I bought, and everything. So the app that I have is the Pregnancy Plus app. I have downloaded all of them. The Bump app, the What to Expect app, like all of them. I like Pregnancy Plus the best. I will put a little picture up of, I will put a little picture up of what the app looks like. I just like that app the best for some reason. I don't know, really stuck with me. So I have that app, and then the one book which I have, I can't find it anywhere. I know it's in the house, but the one book that I really like, and honestly the only book I have, is called Bringing Up Bibi, or like Bebe, and it's a French book, and it's all about this American author who moves to France, gets pregnant, and experiences pregnancy in France, and experiences raising a child in France and all the differences between like American culture and French culture, and how she instinctively would raise a child and how they instinctively raise a child, and how the daycare system works there. I mean, it goes on and on and on. It is so freaking fascinating. And so I've been reading that slowly throughout. And then I bought this for Jake when we first found out we were pregnant. It's the We're Pregnant First Time Dad's Pregnancy Handbook, everything you need to know for your partner and baby. So he has already gone through this entire thing, even though I'm only 25 weeks pregnant. It is like an easy read. He just likes reading ahead of time. Like he likes reading ahead so he knows basically what to expect in the future. But he said it's kind of dumbed down. I don't know how to put it, but he was like, this seems like it is a book for men who literally have never lived with a woman, have never experienced a pregnant woman in their life, have no idea about pregnancy. He was like, it's kind of dumbed down. And it was some stuff was intuitive, but he said a lot of the stuff was like, make sure to cook dinner for your wife, make sure to rub her feet, like stuff like that. And he was like, I already know all that stuff. I already do all that stuff. But there is interesting stuff about baby in here. And so let's see. Like week 8, fingers and toes. And so they talk all about like the fingers and the toes of the baby and like how they're growing. And so first trimester, month 2, week 8 has like baby statistics, mom statistics, not to miss appointments, family goals, just like stuff like that. So, I mean, honestly, like these 2 pages is 1 week. So he would read that and be like, oh, I'm done with it, and like keep going. And he would end up just like keep reading the entire thing. So I got that for him. So that's all I have for books. And then as far as outfits, we did not, so I went to the thrift store on base here and I got a bunch of unisex stuff because they have these sales where it's like fill up a grocery bag for $5 and you can literally fill it with anything you want. So I got a lot of unisex stuff because we didn't know the gender. So I got a lot of this kind of stuff where it's like white, just like Gerber plain onesie. I think this is like 0 to 3 months or something. It's just like a plain white onesie, works for a boy and a girl. That's all I've really got is like cute little plain onesies. And then when we told my very close family friends, they got us this little outfit, and it's a little t-shirt that says happy, little, and loved, and it comes with pants that says, oh god, it's like when it like goes like on and on. It's a pattern, but it has words, and it says like, I can change something, like happy baby, yours, adorable, I am loved, little peanut, like you make me happy, sunshine. So it's all these little like phrases. So these go together, and then it comes with, yeah, I use this basically as a shelf now. It came with this little sweatshirt and has these little bear ears on it. So it comes with a little sweatshirt whole gift thing. So that's all I've really gotten so far for, as the first trimester, that's all I really got in the first trimester. I also got a boppy pillow. It's in the crib right now, but it is just this pillow that goes right here. I only got it because it was at the thrift store for like $4, and so all I had to do was throw the cover to it in the washing machine. Good as new. So I have that, and that will be for breastfeeding. So I got that, and that was honestly like my very first purchase that I got for baby, and it was really exciting because this room was completely empty and we just had like this single boppy pillow like right in the middle of it, and it was very strange and surreal. I was just like, oh my god, a baby's gonna be in here. And now we have like the rug, and we have the crib over here, and this blanket my mom made. And so we have the crib over here, we have the dresser back here, we have the stroller, like everything's already set up. I'm just like, oh, it's so exciting. And I think that's it. Well, the first trimester, it's really hard thinking about all the way back there because the first trimester for me was from August to November, and it is now February. So I am actually almost nearing the end of my second trimester, which is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. So yeah, you'll see a second trimester video probably soon. But yeah, that is everything for the first trimester. And if you have any questions, you can leave them below. You can send me a DM on Instagram, and you can always keep up with what I'm doing over on Instagram at hannahkemartin. I post stories daily and I post pictures a couple times a week. But yeah, that is basically how you can stay up with me and stay in touch and everything. But that is everything, and thank you for watching. Bye guys, love ya. Mwah.